Hello everyone, this is Hunter Steve here. So, Volume 4 has officially ended probably like a month ago at the very latest, or less than a month. So, we're in the off season now. Yay! We get to wait till the fall for Volume 5. But at least got RWBY Chibi to look forward to later in the May. So, I'm gonna give you my full-on review of Volume 4. Was it good? Sure, there was some pacing issues in there. Like, to be fair, this is probably the hardest volume they had to write. Because they gotta get mostly everyone on the same page in this volume, give them all the development. I felt Ruby really got less character development than any other character in the show. That, I don't think that's good, but hey, maybe they're saving that for Volume 5 when we're really gonna get development. To be fair, Ranger really had nothing going on until like the second half. They were just walking the entire time. Like pretty much the only character development from Ruby was during the second half. That's pretty much it. So yeah, I thought the character development in this was okay at best. It could have been a little bit better with the writing. Like, there was some issues I've had. Like, there was some episodes I was like, we waited this long for this, like Chapter 5, Menagerie. At the time, I thought I enjoyed it, but as I really got to know more episodes, I thought it could be the worst episode of Volume 4. It was not very good. It was mostly like the call before the storm for a lot of things. It was mainly foreshadowing for Blake's story. And probably the most thing I hated doing Volume 4 was every episode ended on a fucking cliffhanger. Guys, please don't do that in Volume 5. At least do it at least like 2 to 3 episodes. At least, but every episode, especially in the second half, they would end off on a cliffhanger. I'm like, really? Like, no, stop. Like, in Chapter 8, I thought that was okay because I knew like something bad was going to happen to Crow. Like, I knew he was going to get poisoned. Honestly, I kind of wish he died because it would have. Because with all his poisoning going on, like that was such a big impact on the show during the second half. Like after Chapter 8, it was like, are we gonna get Crow to safety or not? And a lot of people were saying he's going to get killed off in the show, and he does it, and he's fine. Like nothing ever happened, especially in the end credit scene. He just looks fine and went to go drink as normal. But yeah, I think the really good thing of how they portrayed was the emotions and the new animation style. I really loved the new animation. Like back doing the character short, I wasn't too sure. Like as soon as I was looking at it, like my brain was hurting. It was probably because my body wasn't used to the new animation yet, so I was trying to get my eyes to get adjusted to it. But as I watched more episodes, it got a lot better and it got a more polished for me. I think I just need to get my eyes to adjust. That's why I was like, don't want to watch this. But yeah, I thought the new animation is good. I thought the lines on the characters' faces, like the dark lines, maybe that's only modeling, but there were some points where it was very distracting. Like it was going off and on, off and on. I don't know if that's just modeling issue, but I think that should be fixed as well, because that felt very distracting in a lot of scenes. Especially near Rice's story arc, where that really showed most of the time. I also kind of like how they portrayed the new villains, new characters. I think probably my favorite villain of the new ones, as of right now, is probably Tyrion. It's probably going to change when we see Volume 5, which we're going to get more Watts and Hazel. Because Hazel's going to go meet Sienna Khan, the leader of the White Fang, so it's Blake. So Blake's going to meet up with him at some point. That's going to be quite interesting of how that's going to happen. I was happy they didn't bring any one of Team RWBY back together. I was happy with that. I was worried about that. Because I thought that would be way too soon. I thought Yanes was a little bit rushed in some points. It was like, oh, she's okay again. Sure, she's not fully like really ready to go out into the world, but she at this point she's accepted it. At this point, I don't. Sure, she had 6 to 8 months, but yeah, that's one of my complaints. Like, it felt way too quick for me. Like, I think it would be better if she left Patch in Volume 5. I think that probably would have been better. But of course, we gotta get everyone to get ready to go to Mistral for the Battle of Haven, which presumably is gonna happen in Volume 6. I don't think the Battle of Haven is gonna be as destructive as Volume 3's for the Battle of Beacon, but we can't say for certain because Watson's already at Haven Academy talking Lionheart. Now, I don't know if his first name is Leo or if it's another character. I presume his name is Leo, but at the same time, Professor Ozpin was his actual name, Ozpin. So Leo could be another character, or the one in charge of Mistral for Atlas at this point. That's probably what's going to end up being happening. I don't know yet, but I guess we got to figure out in Volume 5. Hopefully we don't get to see Winter until like the second half of Volume 5, which they're probably not going to do that. They're probably going to do that in like Episode 5 of 4, Volume 5, to make us see Winter again, because it's going to happen. We're going to see her. For Volume 4, I thought the music was very well done in this, and the choreograph of the fights. There was some fights that were iffy, like the one in the first episode. Sure, it was the first episode, but I thought that could have been a little bit better for tweaking. It could have been a whole lot better with the fight. I just got bored at like the first couple of minutes with the entire fight. I thought that fight went way too long. But I think probably everyone's favorite fight, especially for me, is Crow versus Tyrion. That was a really fun fight. I enjoyed that. That was probably the best fight in this volume. I thought the Nakalave fight, Nakalave versus Ranger, was a major letdown. That's just me. Because they build this thing up so much since episode 2, you even get that. I was like, okay. I kind of wanted them like to be at the point, because they're still students. Like, they're still like probably at the second year of, if they were still at the school, they would be at the second year. And they took that thing out like easily. Sure, that Glenn probably only killed civilians. We don't know if he actually killed that huntsman back in Volume 2. But at this point, we presume it was a tribe. That Grim just finished off everything else later once they came. And then left, and then Ranger came in. The one criticism I have, the very one huge criticism I have, is why didn't Ranger take a train? We know it's there. Sure, they were going to go to Shion, to a village, but even then, that's still like uncertain if Shion was still there and the ship is still there. They walked 6 to 8 months from past to Shion. I want to know like the measurements of Remnant, like how much distance do you need to go? Because really 6 to 8 months, if you ever look at the map, it looks very weird. Like, why would that be 6 to 8 months while Oscar made it in like probably like a week or so and did absolutely nothing? All he did was took a train, instantly a Mistral, seen Crow. That was weird, but hopefully they explain that on RTX, and I'm sure somebody is gonna ask a question about that in RTX for 2017. Yeah, that was a really odd choice. Like, why walk? Like, if you know it's gonna be very dangerous, especially with Grim running around, especially now, like it's gonna be very tough to get to your destination because there's so much panic going on. They're going to be a lot stronger. I wish we got to know some Grim's names, like the official name of the Nakalale, which is what I'm going to call it for right now until we get an official name of it. And the Sea Dragon getting back in Chapter 3. I thought that chapter was okay at best. I thought it was weird seeing this ship captain again at Chapter 12. I thought that was a little bit convenient. I was like, okay, so is there like no other ships around that area, but he's the only one? Eh, I mean, I was like, oh, okay, that's a little bit weird, but whatever. I'll just pass it through. And then we don't get to see him again. We probably won't see him again for a very long time, which kind of sucks. There were actually a lot of fun characters back in Chapter 3 to deal with. Um, yeah, so I actually really enjoyed the music in this as well. We got Bad Luck Charm. I'm probably gonna listen more to the soundtrack before on the episode itself before the next episode because you see Bad Luck Charm actually gave you a hint that Crow was maybe a Bad Luck Charm, and he was. Introduction to Crow's semblance I thought was pretty well done. I wish we got in Sean's semblance in the Nakamari fight instead of the sword. But even then, I thought that was pretty cool. Like, you got an upgrade. Like, you put in a shield and get an upgrade for a sword, which I thought was pretty neat. Um, Apparently, we have seen Sean's semblance in the past. I just can't decide on what it actually is at this point. A lot of people are saying he's going to have healing, shielding. I think it's more going to be a shield type thing. Because he has so much aura. And I think as soon as he unlocks his semblance, he's going to be a very powerful character. Once he actually gets to control it. But we won't know until we actually know what the semblance is. I hope we learn it in probably Volume 6, Battle of Haven. I think that's like the bare minimum. If we don't get it in Volume 5, it's going to show up in Battle of Haven. I think that's where it needs to be. And I hope it's when he fights Cinder. Because I hope... This is what I presume is what's going to happen in the Battle of Haven at some point during the fight. I hope it's going to be Jean versus Cinder. I want that to happen instead of Jean versus... not Jean versus RWBY. Cinder versus RWBY. I think that should probably start off like that, and then it's to the point where she can't fight anymore, so John has to step in. And he's probably going to have so much rage in him that his semblance unlocks and be able to defeat Cinder. I don't think they're going to kill Cinder off in this story arc, in the second act. But hey, we may never know. Until that point, until Volume 6, which is going to be next year in 2018. I kind of wish we took a break from Volume 4. Well, technically, Volume 4 was on more of a breather, the Calm Before the Storm, which is going to be Volume 5. It's going to be the storm like happening. Everything's going to go to hell. And then Volume 6 is where it's actually going to take place, is the Battle of Haven Academy. Now, they've been foreshadowing a lot that another Great War is going to happen in the show at some point. Like, it's inevitable. It's going to happen. Especially with the introduction to the relics. I think this is what Sailor wants. She wants another Great War to start, so everyone get distracted fighting each other instead of protecting the relics and the maidens. At that point, it'll be easy for her to get them all. And having another Great War in the show, I think, would be a good idea for the third act. Not necessarily the second act, but getting that set up at this point. I don't know how it's going to turn out, like how the Great War is going to begin, but we just need to wait and figure that out. So, yeah, Volume 4 I thought was okay. It could have been a lot better. Like, there was a lot of stuff that I had in my mind after Volume 3, because Volume 3 is like one of the best volumes that they ever had, and it was so like, how are you going to be able to top this? Okay, it's like this. It was just, it breezes through, nobody gets killed off. I was presuming that either Ren or Nora, well, if one of those two died, Ren or Nora, the other's going to have to go immediately afterwards. Like, it's just inevitable. Like, that's going to happen. Like, both of them will die in that same episode and episode later. Like, it will happen. Because I don't think either one of them will probably live without the other. At this point. So, yeah, Volume 4. What did you all think about it? To me, I thought it was like at least a 7 out of 10 or a 6 out of 10. At the very latest, it's an average volume. But I think that was their intent, to make us like take a breeze through until like everything goes to hell in Volume 5. Volume 5 is coming out in the fall. If I had to expect a release date, it's probably going to be October 21st, 2017. Because that's like the second to last week in is that Saturday as well. So that's more than likely going to happen. Or we might get it a little bit earlier. I hope we get the original soundtrack for Volume 4. Hopefully in April, at the end of April, or the beginning of May. Because Casey and Jeff have said they want to get this done as soon as possible. So I hope we're going to get it a lot sooner than what we initially got it for Volume 3. Even though Volume 3 was at the first week of May is when we got the soundtrack. I think we're probably going to get it in April. But we won't know officially until they announce the release date. Which I think they're probably going to announce in March. Somewhere around those lines. But yeah, and also I'm going to try to begin writing for Esther the Last Guardian very soon here. I was going through the idea of what I was going to tell for the story of that. So yeah, it's pretty much all planned out already. I just need to write it, do my rough draft, and then do the final draft, and then I'm probably gonna put it in an audiobook on my YouTube channel when it's all done. I'm gonna have to figure that out. And then maybe I'll try to publish it like officially with hardcovers, softcover. But we won't know until 2018, until next year, until the book comes out. So yeah, this has been Hunted Steve here. I hope you enjoyed my final review until the fall. So I'm not going to be reviewing RWBY Chibi. I'm just not going to do it. It makes no sense to do so, since that's more of a break. So, yeah, I will see you all in May, and bye.